Hello guys, welcome back for another video. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to reroll in Anime Vanguards update 8.5. Whether you should be rerolling on certain units, whether or not you should be saving or spending, how you can potentially get some rerolls as well, and all those other stuff is going to be tackled in today's video. Now I just want you guys to know that our ultimate goal is to eventually get to 100k subscribers, which is a goal that is ultimately impossible without your continuous support. So if you want to help us get to 100k subscribers, then please don't forget to click that like and subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get started with today's video. Alright. So there's not really that many units in this update, but I think since there's a lot of stuff going on in terms of the meta, there's a lot of stuff we're talking about for today's video. So I know that you guys probably already spent your rerolls, but I still want to make this video because I think there's still a lot of things to talk about. Now, alright, basically, I'm going to be going back to the previous video I made about this, which is essentially, if you do not have 1,500 rerolls, rerolling is not going to be as efficient. Which is true because 1,500 rerolls is going to be pity, right? So if, for example, if I want to reroll on any unit that I have right now, like Alucard, 1,500 rerolls, after I pass 1,500, I am going to be hitting pity on Alucard, and that's basically a guaranteed monarch. Now, the reason why I always tell people to wait until they have 1,500 rerolls is because it's basically the most efficient, right? If you only have 400 rerolls right now, if you wait until you have 1,500 rerolls, then by the time you get 1,500 rerolls, you can then spend your rerolls on the unit that is currently the strongest. But for example, I did something similar to this before. Like, I spent a lot of my money or a lot of my rerolls on a unit like the King, and when I spent my rerolls on the King, because I kind of rushed him, now I still did get Monarch on Sukuna, thankfully, because I got lucky, but it would have been a very disastrous situation if I didn't get Monarch on Sukuna as well. Now, I know you guys want to gamble, so of course you can still reroll on these units if you want to, but again, if you want to reroll on units, even if you're not at 1,500 rerolls, you have to reroll on the ones that are at the top of the meta. Now, you could pick either my tier list or the Anime Vanguards tier list to decide who you want to reroll on. But if you want to reroll even outside of the 1,500 reroll thing, you have to pick the one that is at the top of the meta. So even by the time you get pity on that character, they're still meta, right? Because the goal here is to essentially get to pity on every character. You can't just be switching left and right. So like, for example, rerolling on Escanor, then after you got bored of rerolling on Escanor, you're rerolling on another unit. Because that's very, very inefficient. That is extremely inefficient, and by doing that, you will waste your rerolls. So let me just repeat or basically summarize everything that I said. Number one is it's most efficient, not necessarily you can, but it's just the most efficient to only be rerolling once you have 1,500 rerolls, as this will ensure that by the time you get to 1,500, you can check the meta and then be able to efficiently reroll on the strongest unit. But if you want to reroll outside of 1,500, make sure that you're picking a unit that is definitely at the top of the meta, because this will ensure that you will not be wasting your rerolls on a character that will fall off eventually. Now, as for the units that you need to be rerolling on, that's what we're going to talk about for the second part of today's video. And no, my guest will no longer be here. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit more clear now. My previous recording of this had the guest dog basically barking every like 5 seconds, so I had to record this part again. Okay, so here's my honest thoughts on the landscape of update 8.5. The number one most important monarch to get in the game, in my opinion, is without even a shadow of doubt going to be none other than Escanor. Now, the reason why Escanor is going to be the top unit to reroll on is because Escanor is just the most convenient, useful unit ever in Anime Vanguards. He is convenient in more ways than one. So he's convenient in clearing challenges, as long as the challenge doesn't have shield. He's convenient in clearing the most important game mode in the game, which is Sid Raid. Sid Raid houses Burb. Burb is going to be the lifeblood of trading, as it's confirmed that Burb will be part of trading. And Burb, again, the god Burbs will be very important in trading. Trust me, it will be. This has already been mentioned by the developers themselves that Burb and obviously the units itself will be important for trading. But again, familiars and farming in general, Escanor is very, very useful for them. So if you want to have a very convenient unit for farming and you don't have Monarch on Escanor yet, then get Monarch on Escanor, as he is far, far, far more worthy or worth it as a Monarch than any other unit in the top tiers. More worth it than Broly, more worth it than anyone else. And some people might disagree, but Broly is so convenient that he is the unit you're probably going to be using the most. Now, if you already have Monarch Escanor, that's when you can move on to the update 8.5 units, because I think the update 8.5 units, specifically Broly, is definitely worth it for a Monarch. Now, the thing about Broly is you kind of want Monarch on him because of his cost, and the way Broly Monarch works is once you get Monarch on Broly, you can essentially use Broly to basically just defend early, and that's kind of how Broly is going to be used in Anime Vanguards. He's going to be kind of this unit that you're going to be using to defend early, which is very, very good, and I actually kind of like that because it makes him so convenient when it comes to farming things that Escanor can't auto farm. Like, I could place him in game modes that has shields, and just him being placed down, not even being upgraded, he can clear it easily. He kind of works a lot like Sukuna, except in my opinion, he's better than Sukuna, right? In my opinion, only he's better than Sukuna. He does have limitations, but his limitations aren't really that necessary for a huge part of the game. And that's why Monarch Broly is insanely useful. So, and not just useful, but also good. Now, for the other characters in update 8.5, we have Gogeta, Frieza, and Stark. Frieza doesn't really need it because he's Griffith food. Stark, I wouldn't really roll on him. And as for Gogeta, this is kind of where you have that discussion on whether or not you should be going on Monarch on him, because Gogeta does more damage than Broly if you can build a team around Gogeta. But the way Gogeta works is you need to get obviously Ichigo and a bunch of other units like Roku, and you need to get Deadeye on those units as well, and you need to get Monarch on him. And again, the way this works is you'd basically need to build a team around him, and that's why he is not as high in the meta. So basically what I would recommend for him is reroll until you either get Deadeye, Ethereal, Monarch. Whatever trait you get first, that's probably going to be the best for Gogeta, except for Solar. I don't think Solar is really that good. Deadeye is kind of useful still. Oh, sorry, Solar's not really that good, still kind of useful. Deadeye is still kind of useful, but the best one you could get is either Ethereal or, of course, Monarch, but I don't think it's worth it going for Monarch on Gogeta for the simple fact that I think there's other better units that you can spend rerolls on. Now, another one that you can spend reroll on because of how brokenly powerful he is characters like Sukuna, because again, Sukuna is insanely broken. He is like the top of the meta right now still. So yeah, it's pretty much it. Now, there's also one more thing that you could do, right? Because in update 9, we're going to be getting Dio over Heaven. This is confirmed. We're going to get Dio over Heaven. We could also be getting characters like Doomslayer, which we could get in update 9. Obviously, the Vanguard familiar for Gilgamesh, or maybe the Vanguard familiar for Gogeta as well. That's already been confirmed. So you might also want to save up rerolls for those characters themselves. So that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, then please don't forget to like and subscribe. That's gonna be it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.